given that the lockdown started taking place outside of the US first of all, clearly as people were staying at home more and were looking at other forms of entertainment that they could enjoy at home, you can understand why a lot of those subscribers came from outside of the US. And clearly, in terms of Netflix's overall penetration of the opportunity that they address, they're more underpenetrated in regions outside of the US. So all of that makes perfect sense. I guess in terms of some of Reed Hastings' words of caution with regards to the future outlook of the business, I think he's just probably just wanting to remind everybody that, these are unprecedented times, and the surge of demand that they've seen for their services in Q1 and continuing into Q2 are based upon these unprecedented times. So they just don't know the impact of those subscribers as we hopefully get to a conclusion of the current situation and get to a situation where we can now, start to sort of have quarantine restrictions lifted and people can spend more time outdoors. And clearly going into the summer months, if that all happens around then, people will be hopefully spending more time outdoors rather than glued to their TV sets. So I think Reed Hastings is just sort of expressing caution that, don't try to extrapolate. I think the company has suffered in the past when forecasters have extrapolated short-term results.
Right.
To the long-term opportunity.
Right.
And I think he's just reminding everybody that shouldn't be what people are doing right now.
Fair enough, Jeremy. When I think about Netflix, one of the long-standing questions for investors is how this company would fare in a prolonged recession. We really don't know how these streaming services will hold up, these subscription streaming services, whether people, when forced to cut back on some parts of spending, buying groceries, are they really going to hang on to these subscriptions? How do you think Netflix fares if we are heading into a prolonged recession?
Sure. So, any service like Netflix has an element of discretionary spend to it. So is that at risk in a prolonged recession? And I think consumers would look at the basket of things that they spend on, which aren't necessary. And some people would decide that actually having access to some good quality content that they enjoy watching, even in times of recession, is their opportunity for escapism, for want of a better word. Being able to get away from maybe some of the negativity in the news, to be able to watch things which can just take their minds off that day-to-day, negative news. So I think Netflix will be an important spend for some of their subscribers. Clearly, there'll be some subscribers who decide that it's too much. But I think also many subscribers might actually look at where else they spend on in terms of subscription services. And what we've been seeing over the last few years is that people are choosing to actually switch off their subscriptions to cable or satellite plans first before they actually switch off subscriptions to over-the-top content like Netflix.